There are stories hidden between the lines of Scripture, moments heaven recorded, but few have ever seen. Stories of power, of warning, of hope buried deep, waiting for the ones who dare to look closer. Welcome to the Rise Pilot, where forgotten truths rise again. If you're hearing this, maybe it's not by accident. Like this video, subscribe, and share it, because someone out there needs to remember what heaven never forgot. This is the angel that walked among men and no one knew. There was a man once, walking the dusty roads of an ancient village. His face was ordinary, his clothes were plain. He passed through markets, through alleys, through gates. He looked like them. He spoke like them. He bled like them. But he wasn't one of them. He was an angel, wrapped in flesh and bone, carrying a mission so sacred even he couldn't speak it aloud. And the people? They saw him every day. They looked him in the eyes, and never once saw the fire inside. Because sometimes God hides his messengers in plain sight, not to deceive us, but to test what we truly see when we're not looking for miracles. Don't scroll away. This might be the message heaven planned for you today. The book of Hebrews whispers it quietly. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. Some people, not all, some. What if that stranger you dismissed yesterday wasn't just a stranger? What if heaven wrapped one of its own in skin and placed them directly in your path, not to perform signs and wonders, but to see if you would recognize love when it wasn't announced? The angel walked into a town ravaged by drought. Wells had dried, crops had failed. Desperation hung in the air like dust. When he arrived, tired and asking for water, they saw only another burden. Most ignored him, a few mocked him. One woman spat at his feet and said, "If God cared, we wouldn't be dying." The angel said nothing. He just looked at her with a sadness so deep it seemed to carry the weight of eternity. Then he whispered, "He does care. That's why I'm here." But she didn't listen. She turned away, and he kept walking. If you're still watching, type "I'm listening, Lord" in the comments. Let's see who's awake. By evening, the angel reached the edge of town. There, beneath a dying tree, sat an old man, blind, forgotten. The angel sat beside him. "Are you here to judge us too?" the old man asked. "No," the angel said softly. "I'm here to remember you." The old man laughed bitterly. "No one remembers me, not even God." The angel placed his hand on the man's weathered fingers, and when he did, something shifted. Warmth, peace, as if every prayer whispered into the void had just been answered in a single touch. "He's never stopped remembering you," the angel said. "Not for a second. Even when you couldn't feel him, he was counting every tear. He sent me to tell you you're not invisible." Not to heaven. Tears ran down the blind man's face. He didn't understand who this stranger was, but something inside him knew he had just been visited by the divine. You're watching the Rise Pilot, where every story carries a divine code. If your heart feels something stirring, don't ignore it. Like this video right now and share it so someone else can rise too. The next morning, the rains came. Not because of rituals, not because of sacrifice, but because one forgotten, broken man had been seen, had been loved, had been remembered, and in that moment heaven moved. The angel didn't just visit the old man, he visited dozens. A widow who'd lost hope, a soldier haunted by war, a child abandoned at the gates. One by one, he moved through the shadows, whispering, "You are not forgotten. You are not alone. Heaven is still watching." Most never knew who he was. They thought he was just a kind stranger, a wanderer, a nobody. And maybe that's the point. Maybe God doesn't always send angels in glory because he wants us to learn something deeper, that love doesn't need a throne to be real. That sometimes the most sacred encounters happen when we least expect them, with people we almost ignored. The town never found out who the stranger was. By the time the rains came, he was gone. Some said he was a prophet. Others said he was a madman, but no one knew for certain. Like this video, if your spirit feels this truth, let us help more souls hear what has been hidden for ages. Here's what we miss when we demand proof, when we insist God show up the way we expect. We miss the angels walking right beside us. We miss the quiet miracles. The stranger who said exactly what we needed to hear. The friend who showed up at the exact right moment. What if heaven has been sending messengers all along, and we've been too distracted to notice? The question is not what happened then. The question is, what does it mean for us now? Because if angels walked among men in ancient times, who's to say they stopped? Maybe heaven is testing something deeper in us. Not whether we believe in angels, but whether we still believe in love, in kindness, in seeing people the way God sees them. Every person you meet could be a test, not of your theology, but of your heart. Will you see them? Will you hear them? Will you love them even when they look ordinary, broken, inconvenient? The angel didn't perform miracles to prove he was holy. He just loved. And that love, quiet, humble, unseen, moved heaven itself. Share this with someone who needs to know God still speaks through mystery. So what do you do with a story like this? You slow down, you pay attention. You stop scrolling past people like they're background noise. You look into their eyes. You ask yourself, what if? What if this moment matters more than I think? Because the angel didn't reveal himself to everyone, only to those who stopped, to those who listened, to those whose hearts were soft enough to feel the presence of something greater. And maybe that's the invitation. Not to look for wings or halos, but to look for love, to see God not in the spectacular, but in the subtle, in the kindness of strangers, in the whisper of hope when everything feels dark. Heaven is not silent, it never has been, but it speaks in ways we've stopped listening for, through people, through moments, through mercy we almost missed. The angel walked among men, and no one knew, but some felt him. Some were changed by him. And that's the mystery, that holiness doesn't need recognition to be real. So the next time someone crosses your path, the person asking for help, the friend calling when you're too tired to answer, the stranger whose words linger, pause. Don't dismiss, because you might be standing in the presence of something sacred. The angel walked among men, and no one knew, but maybe, just maybe, you will. Some truths aren't just meant to be heard. They're meant to awaken something eternal. If this spoke to your spirit, type "I'm rising again" in the comments, and let's fill this space with faith. Share this with someone who needs light, and don't forget to subscribe. Because here on the Rise Pilot, we don't just tell stories, we uncover what heaven still remembers.